welcome back. Long time no see, but also long time since we actually did a freaking physical TBR. So we're gonna jump into my June TBR and everything we're gonna do. I have this app on my iPad called Spin the Wheel, and we're gonna spin. I have 50 prompts up here. And we're gonna spin the wheel. I'm thinking about we're doing 10 prompts off my TBR prompts that we're gonna do, and we're gonna spin and figure out what is it gonna give me. I'm really excited because it's been so long since I've actually read off a TBR. I've been doing lots of mood reading and just like reading whatever because nursing school has been so draining, so I couldn't just fathom making a TBR. I just wanted to read what felt right. But now that I have a little bit of a break where I could put nursing school a little bit on the back burner and I can really prioritize my reading, I thought why not we jump back into physical TBR. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So hello, if you made it this far, welcome to my June TBR by Spin the Wheel. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's get into my first prompt. I just realized, like, for me, this is gonna probably take like an hour or two, like editing and filming. But when you're watching this, you're gonna be like, yeah, because I'm gonna clip it and it's gonna be like maybe 1 to 2 minutes max. So we're aiming for about 10 books. So let's see what my first prompt is gonna be. A book set in a small town. So let's see, what do I have on my physical TBR for that? If this angle looks different, it's because it is. Hello, welcome to the behind the scenes of me picking my June TBR. Actually, it's not really behind the scenes, but my first prompt is choosing a book with a small town, and I have 3 physical TBRs that I could choose from. So I have this like pink one, and then on my big bookshelves I have down there, I don't know what I'm gonna choose. Let's find some books and then I'll come back. Alrighty, so I'm back with some choices. We'll always have Summer, which I believe is the second book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. Then we have Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is the second book in this theology by Tessa Bailey, and I read It Happened One Summer like 2 summers ago, like in 2023 I believe, and I absolutely love the first book, so I don't know. And then last but not least, we have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borson, which is the third book in the Love Light Farm series. I read the first 2, and I've kind of been a little iffy about the first 2, like I haven't loved them. But I don't know what I should go with, because I feel like if I choose this is also helping me tackle all the series I'm currently in the middle of. But then I'm kind of like, I had this book on my TBR probably longer than these 2, so I probably should read it. And when I come down to this one, I don't really think this one's much of a contender. I think for a book set in a small town, we should go with Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, because I'm just smiling so hard and just thinking about how I felt when I read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I think this one could possibly maybe end up being maybe between a 3 and a 5-star read. So we're gonna go with this one for a small town romance. Also, before we spin the second one, there's an option on this to hide the slice after you select it. So then that way I won't get the same slice again. Basically, I won't get the same prop again for June. So let's spin for the second one. A book with a title longer than 5 words. Oh, this is going to be easy. This will be so freaking easy. I believe it would be so easy for this one. This prompt, we have to choose a book with a title that's longer than 5 words. I'm going to stay over here for this one because this is where the majority of my physical TBR is. But a book that has a title more than 5 words, I feel like we're starting, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we should just do this one. This was really easy and a quick one to find, but that means it saves me from pulling all these other books out. This is actually from my most recent Barnes & Noble haul for my birthday. But this one's Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose, and I think this is the one I'm gonna go with because I don't feel like pulling all these different books out. Does that make me a cheater? Yes. I mean, there's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, but I don't think that's what I'm in the mood for. We had a Fate, Ink, and Blood. That's exactly 5 words. I need 6 or more. Children of no, that's 5. We have The Ashes of Star-Cursed Key. 1, 2, 3, 5. That's 6. I could do that, but I'm also not in the mood for fantasy. I think I'm gonna just stick with this one. I think this is gonna be the winner. we have found the winner. I'm gonna go ahead with this thriller. This is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose for a book with a title longer than 5 words. I thought this was actually going to be an easy prompt, but it turns out most of my books are either 5 words or less, so this was actually a little bit harder. Another option was the second book by Carissa Robin, and this series, I don't remember what this series is called. Oh, and the Cause of Anaxia. It could have been this one, but first of all, she's thick, which I don't mind because I literally just finished doing like 2 days ago. And but I'm also just think I'm not really in the mood for fantasy, so we're just gonna go with this thriller because I love me some Geneva Rose, and yeah, I think this would be the best way to start this. So let's do this for a book with a title longer than 5 words. Alrighty, let's go ahead and spin for book number 3. Spin. No. Ooh, a book that makes you laugh. This one, I feel like this will be really hard to do because I feel like a lot of the books I read make me laugh, like somehow, some way, whether if I'm laughing for enjoyment or I'm laughing because A, I'm weirded out, or B, because it's awkward. I feel like this one is going to be like a really hard pick for this, but I feel like I should pick something I haven't read yet, like by any authors. So let's go ahead and get into picking a book that I think will make me laugh. I now have to find a book that's going to make me laugh, and when I think of authors who make me laugh, I think of like dark romance. So Nikki St. Crow, her books have always made me laugh. Megan Quinn, she's a great romantic comedy author. I read the Kane Brothers series by her like a couple years ago, and that had me like bawling my eyes out. And who else? Chantel Tessier, her books also make me laugh. Allie Hazelwood, her books also make me laugh. But I feel like I would be cheating if I choose Allie Hazelwood because I love her. So I feel like automatically I would love anything that she writes. Also, Grace Riley, I read her first book in her Beyond the Play series, and her books is actually quite funny. So I feel like I should either read like a Megan Quinn book, or I should read a Grace Riley book. I don't know. But I feel like with Megan Quinn, I would have to start a new series. But I feel like if I stick with Grace Riley, then I will already be completing the second book in the series. And I feel like we have decisions to make. And the only reason why I'm not choosing Chantel Tessier because I feel like that would be cheating. Because I've been buddy reading her books with people on TikTok. Because my TikTok bestie Kylie over there, she's actually put me onto the series. So I feel like I would be cheating if I chose anything else. So I think we're gonna go with Grace Riley on this one, and I need to find the second book in the series, which should be over here. It definitely should be over here for sure because I just put these books over here not too long ago. And I think the second book might be Breaking Away. Let's double check. Oh, and also my books are signed. I actually met Grace Riley in person. So this is the second book in the series, Breakaway. I think we're gonna do this one. So for books that make me laugh, I decided to go with Breakaway by Grace Riley. There were so many authors that I know like actually make me laugh, but I'm also trying to think about my physical TBR and also like everything else that I have like planned in my head. And if y'all see my video of how many series I'm in the middle of, I'm in the middle of so many series, so I thought why not start this. But I was torn between Grace Riley and Megan Quinn, but I decided to go with Breakaway by Grace Riley. This is the second book in the Beyond the Play series, and I'm excited to see what Shadi has to offer. Also, I keep forgetting these books are, not this page. I keep forgetting my books are signed because I met homegirl in person. She's like the sweetest thing ever. But yeah, it just says to Asia, cheers with love, Grace Riley. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our fourth. Okay, let's spin the wheel again. Is a poetry or a short collection story. I may include novellas in this one as well. So let me see what I have to offer on my shelf. I don't really have any poetry or short story collected books. I mean, I do, but then also I don't, because I think I've already read them. So I feel like this one's definitely probably going to be like a hard one to choose. So. Okay, so now we need to pick a book that is a short story or a poetry or a novella. Now this This is What Passes for Wisdom by Bill Ayers. This is actually the guy at my local Barnes & Noble. He actually wrote this. And I read a couple passages out of here, but I never finished. And then I also have Love and Wine. This is poems by Alex Diaz. My boyfriend bought me this book a long time ago. I've only read like a couple poems in here. This is also an option as well. And then I have some Rupi Kaur, I think that's how you say her name. But I've actually already read both of the 2 poetry books I own by her, like front to back, like multiple times. So I feel like that would be cheating. And then I have the Hoop Shorts by Kennedy Ryan, but I don't know if you can read that in contingent. Like, if I don't know if you can read that separate from the Hoop series. And then also have a novella to the Priest series that I can read. But like, I don't know if you can read that by itself either. But I might have to do some research. But I think these are the only like novellas that I physically own. And this is the Midnight Mass. I have done further research on this topic for these 2 novellas, and there's 2 stories in this one, and Kennedy says you read the first one, then read the series, and come back and read the last one. Ain't got time for that. So naturally I wonder it's going to be Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone, because it's supposed to be read in between the first and the second book. Guess what? I already read the first book, so I feel like this is a sign from God that our 4th book for our poetry or short collection book is going to be Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone. And let's go into our 5th spin. Okay, let's spin. And let's see what we get for number 5. Our next one, it says a book with a dual timeline, so they take place in the same time. And I feel like this also worked for like POVs. So I'm gonna find a book with a dual timeline, so they're happening at the same time. So let's do that. Choosing a book for this one was actually a lot easier than I thought, and that is because I thought dual timelines mean that they happen at the same time, but actually they happen in different times. You know what I mean? I thought like if the year is 2020, then both timelines are happening in 2020. But according to Google, a dual timeline means a narrative that shifts between 2 or more storylines set in different time periods, often with a convergence or reveal that connects the timelines. And I feel like the only book that I have that is like jumping timelines at this time is Husbands and Lovers by Beatrice Williams. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this one. It takes place between two women, and they're separated by decades and on continents, but united by an exotic family heirloom with claimed secrets and lost love in this stunning novel. So I think this one will probably be my best bet for this one. So yeah, it seems like this is like a women's fiction, lit fic, like historical fiction kind of thing. So I'm excited. I picked this book up for like book of the month, like I don't know how long ago. Long enough. It's been on the shelf at least between 6 months to a year. So it's your time to shine, baby. Okay, it is now time that we spin for book number 6. It says a book published before you were born. Ooh, this is gonna be hard. I'm gonna definitely have to pull up my phone and get on Goodreads for this one. And because I keep on I have a shelf of my Goodreads with my physical TBR, and I'm gonna put it in publication order. I'm not about to flip through all these books to find out what book was published before I was born. That's crazy. So I'm pulling up the publication year right now. You can't see it, but a book that was published before I was born. I was born in 2001. I only have one book that was published before I was born. It's Dracula. Dracula is the winner. I gotta find it on this shelf. Oh wait, it's right here. This is the illustrated version of Dracula by Bram Stoker, but I guess this is what I would be reading because it's the only book that was already published before I was born. Is this a specific version published before I was born? Probably not, but the actual original author was. So we're gonna stick. This is Dracula. That was actually very quick. That was a quick one. Let's go on to book number 7. A book with a map inside. This is easy because I feel like this is like any fantasy book. So I guess we're gonna have to get into the fantasy side of things, and let's see what fantasy-ish books I want to read. So these are like the first 3 books that I pulled out that has a map on them. I'm not pulling out any more books. This is what we're gonna go with. We have The Games God Played by Abigail Owen, which I got a long time ago. Then we have The Night Ends with Fire I don't even know how you say their name, and I really don't want to mispronounce it, but the last name is Song. Um, Also has a map in it, and it seems really, really good. And then last but not least, we have the second book in the Children of Blood and Bone series by Tomi Adeniyi. I think that's how you say it, but this is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This also has a map. Same thing. I can start this, and I will probably be starting a series. I don't know if this book is a series or a standalone, but this is also definitely a series, which I need to like also finish. But I feel like because I'm filming this in May, and I feel like May, and since May is Asian, is it Asian Pacific Islander month? I think that's what it is. I feel like naturally I'm kind of like gravitating towards this one. Also, it's really stunning and it sounds really, really good. It says infused with magic and romance, the sweeping fantasy adventure is inspired by the legend of Mulan, and it follows a young woman determined to choose her own destiny, even if that means going against everyone she loves. So, based off of that, Mulan, I love Mulan. It's like probably one of my like top 3 Disney movies, and because I'm filming this in May and it's Asian Pacific Islander month, I feel like this author deserves a chance to be read, especially because I remember getting this book a while ago. So I'm going to go with this one for a book with a map inside. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and spin for book 8. This is a translated book. I don't know if I have any books that has been translated, so I'm going to have to do some research on Google about books that have been translated, so I can find a book that has been translated that I own on my TBR. So PIB. Y'all, this is becoming a little bit too easy because why did I Google it? And then it brought me to a Goodreads thing, and then because at first I said books that been translated, but then I felt like that was cheating. So then I had to search books that has been translated into English, because I feel like majority of the books are in English and then they get translated to other languages. And Goodreads actually have a thing. It says popular translated into English books. I don't know if you can see that, but they actually have like this whole thing. And Frederick Bachman is up here for A Man Called Uwe. And guess who has A Man Called Uwe? I do, because I thrifted it at the thrift store like a year ago. And I've never read it. So I'm really excited. Frederick Bachman is a very much popular author, and I've never read anything by him, so this is actually a new author for me. But I know he is very famous for the Beartown trilogy, but also for Anxious People. Here we have A Man Called Uwe, and I know nothing about this book, but it just says all you need is Uwe. Uwe is all you need at the top and the ending of the synopsis. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I can't wait to see what this one has to offer. Now we spin for book number 9. I'm loving this. So far I'm choosing books that I probably would never like read very soon. Hence most of these books has been on my TBR for at least 6 months. This one says a book with a blue cover. Now this one's probably going to take some time. So yeah. Guys, our next prompt. Oh my god. This thing, my tripod is broke, so now it just like never want to works. But our next book theme that we're choosing is a book with a blue cover, and I'm really just kind of sticking over here because yeah, I'm tired of running back and forth in the majority of my TBRs over here, and we have so many books that have a blue cover to choose from. I'm gonna only choose books that are like basically the whole cover is blue, so this one wouldn't count because I feel like that's cheating. Mainly blue, like this is like a tealish blue, but I'm gonna count it. This one's also mainly blue, so I'm gonna count it. I guess this one's like 2 shades of blue, so we do that one. I'm gonna put this one back up here, even though I softened up this book like last year. I think in 50% through. This one's like majority blue, so we can do that. Also do this, which is blue. We have this, Throne of Secrets. We have Blood at the Root by Darion Williams. Those are all the other blue books that I have, so we have lots of books to choose from, and I don't know what I should freaking choose. I'm kind of aiming towards Blood at the Root because the second book is coming out in this series in July. I don't know what's the exact date, but I believe the second book is coming out in July. Christian's read this already, and he said it was a pretty good book. Then I could read Throne at the Fallen, but hear me out. If I read this book, then I gotta start the second book, and then this is starting a series, and this will put me either more in the negative with all the series I'm currently in the middle of, Then we also have Hook. This is the interconnected love standalone series, and this is dark romance. But I don't have a lot of dark romance on the TBR right now, so like I feel like this is also a contender, and I feel like I will also really enjoy this. Also, I didn't know there was character art in this book. This is also the deluxe edition, I believe, too. So this is not the original cover for Hook, but I don't know, I feel like this is also an option. Then I have Midnight Library, but I don't know how long this book has been on my physical TBR, like forever. So I feel like I can read this, but I've heard so many mixed reviews, so I don't know if this book is actually good or not. Then we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I DNF'd this book, so I don't know if I really want to traumatize myself again by reading this book again, because majority of people love The Nightingale. Majority of people love Kristen Hanna. I don't know. We have Beautiful Ugly by Alex Feeney. Alex Feeney and me, we have a good track record. But I don't know if I really want to read another thriller right now, or any thrillers, but yeah. And then we have One Gun of Summer by Carly Fortune, but I haven't read any other Carly Fortune books I have, and I think this is book number 4. And I think these books are interconnected standalone, so technically I can read it and not really care, but then I feel like I'd be cheating, so I don't think that's an option. And then we also have The Tenant by Frida. I love Frida. Frida does a great job at writing books. But I also feel like I would be cheating because this book just came out and she's one of my more recent reads, one of my most recent like books I bought. So I really feel like when making these TBRs, I should choose books that probably been sitting on my shelves for a little bit. So I'm definitely in between these 3, but I think I'm really gonna go for Blood at the Root because A, it's a black author, so I feel like that automatically makes it win. And 2, the second book in the series is going to come out, so I feel like it's only right, because originally me and Christian was supposed to buddy read this together, but then he just started without me, and then I just never read it. So I think for this one, for a book with a blue cover, I think we're gonna go. I think this is gonna be it. Alrighty guys, I have found the book that I'm going to do with the blue cover. We're going to do Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. I'm excited to jump into this book for multiple reasons. The second book in the series is actually coming out in July. 2, it's a black author, a black male author at that. It's a fantasy book and it takes place on a campus university. I remember the first time I read the synopsis, it immediately reminded me of Legendborn. They are different books, they're not the same, but the concept, the synopsis is kind of remind me of Legendborn, but they're completely executed completely different. And you're probably like, how do you know that? You haven't even read the book yet. I know this because my man read the book. Thank you. Second of all, I was supposed to buddy read this with him, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you read it here because you read slow, and I could probably knock this book out in a day to 3 days. And he was just like, yeah. And then he finished, and then I just never read. So I think because this book is coming, the second book in the series is coming out in July, this was my sign from God to go ahead and pick up Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. So this would be the 9th book for my blue book. And last but not least, let's get into our 10th book for our physical TBR. A book you bought but never read. I already know what book I'm gonna do for this one. I'm gonna do the book that's been on my TBR the longest, because I think that's fair, because I have over 200 plus books on my physical TBR. So there's a lot of books I bought but I never read. So let me go ahead and grab it so we can get into it and talk about it. Hello darkness, my old friend. Is that how that song goes? Okay, we have it. This is Flip by Wendell Van Darnen. This is the book that's been on my physical TBR for the longest. So this is the book that I'm going to be reading for a book that I bought but never read. Because like I said, I have over 200 plus books on my physical TBR. There's so many books to choose. It's only right that we start from the bottom up. So this is what we're going to be reading. One of the books I'm going to be reading, I've never read anything about this author. I do know this book has a movie, so I'm excited to go and watch the movie, but I believe this is a YA book and it has 2 main characters, and I think it is a little like romance book, so I'm excited nonetheless. But this is the last book that we have choose for our physical TBR, so let's go over a quick little overview of everything that I'm going to be reading in June. Woo. So many books, so let's go ahead guys and do a quick little overview of everything that I'm going to be reading in June and what do I think about these books. So we have Flip. I'm excited because this book has been on my physical TBR for the longest. I think this is like a YA fiction, YA like romance kind of book, so I'm really excited. I'm not gonna read you the synopsis because I seen a video on TikTok, but some people are like they don't like the synopsis because they feel like synopsis like spoil you too much. Personally, I like synopsis, and yeah, but I know everybody don't. So for this video, I'm just gonna leave them out. But I'm excited for this one. I have Blood at the Root by LaDion Williams. This is a YA fantasy book that takes place on a college campus, which I'm so excited because I love Black Boy Joy. I love Black magic, and I really want to do better at supporting Black authors. I feel like I do pretty good. I was talking about this on TikTok one day on a live. I was doing reading sprints, and I was just like how I want to support more Black authors, and they were like, Asia, you really do. But then when I look at my bookshelves, like the majority of my authors are white. I read a lot of Black authors though, but the majority of my bookshelf is white. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean I'm not buying Black books? Because I do buy Black books. Maybe I'm just not buying them as fast as much as I think. But when I talk about Black authors, everybody's like, no, you support. So I don't know, I be in a little dilemma. But nonetheless, I'm excited to jump into this and like talk about that book finally with my boyfriend. And then we have A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. I'm excited for this because this is a new author and I've never read anything about this man, but people praise his work. So I'm excited but also nervous because you know how girlies like to get about behind their favorite author. Then I have this Mulan Read fantasy retelling. This is called The Night Ends with Fire. Also a new author for me. Haven't read anything by this author, but I'm really excited to get into it because not only is the artwork and everything in here stunning, I love when I read books by other cultures and they incorporate their culture within books. Like for example, I've been reading the Broken Blades trilogy by Mai Corlin. Whole time I was calling Shawty Mia. But I was watching this other lady on YouTube, and she's actually of Asian descent, and she was saying Mai, so I'm guessing her pronunciation for her name is actually Mai, so I'm so glad I came across this so I can like pronounce her name correctly. But I've been reading that series, and I love how she ties in the culture, and I think it's actually Korean culture and Korean heritage, so I just really love that. And then I'm going to be reading Dracula for a book that has no, this is not a book that has been translated. A book that was written before I was born. I'm excited. I put Dracula on my list to read after seeing this movie. I think it was called The Lost Voyage or something. And me and Christian saw it. It was like a very first date together. And that made me interested in reading Dracula. And then we have a dual timeline. We have Husbands and Lovers by Beatrice Williams. I haven't heard much talk about this book, but this book was offered to me by Book of the Month. This is for July 2024. So I almost had this book a whole year and I'm just not getting to it. Also a new author for me, so I'm excited to get into it. I love like a historical fiction book. One of my all-time favorite historical fiction books is The Only Woman in the Room. By, I forget Shawty's name. Where is it? It's right over here. The Only Woman in the Room by Marie Benedict. So I'm excited to see what that book has to offer. A novella, Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone. I read Priest by her like a month ago, and that book had me clutching my pearls and asking God for forgiveness. So I'm just excited because I do not know what to expect coming into this book. And then we have Breakaway by Grace Riley. I'm hoping this book is going to give me all the laughs that I need. And also I'm excited to get back into this because Grace Riley, she's just like the sweetest person ever. And yeah, I know this because I met this woman. I will put pictures on the screen, but she's literally so freaking sweet. And then I have Homes Over the Bodyguard by Geneva Rose that I'm also going to be reading. I read multiple Geneva Rose novels at this point. This is like my 4th or 5th one. She's good at what she does. Geneva Rose is like another Frida McFadden for me. You want a good palate cleanser? Shawty, she's the one. And then last but not least, we have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I'm so excited to jump into this book. Finally, I bought this book like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, because I read it happen one summer in 2023, so I know for a fact I had this book for a while. But I'm excited to jump into it. Nonetheless, those are all the 10 books I'm going to be reading, hopefully in June. No promises. I know that I said this is a June TBR, but it's always maybes. It's not 100% guarantee I'm going to read these books, but I feel like we have a really great diverse group for June, and it was so fun doing another TBR prompt with you guys. If you read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And yeah, I would definitely see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.